Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news, all right. So let's talk about something that's been buzzing around the NFL lately. And it involves a potential blockbuster trade that could shake up the NFC West and give the Seahawks a serious boost for the upcoming seasons. Rumors are swirling that the Indianapolis Colts might be open to trading their star interior lineman, Quentin Nelson. And this isn't just some idle speculation. It's something that could really reshape the landscape of the division and change the trajectory of the Seahawks' pursuit of another Super Bowl ring. Now, the source of these rumors is Diana Rossini, one of the most trusted insiders in NFL circles, and she's suggesting that the Colts, who are currently sitting at 9-6 with a cap space of around $32 million, are contemplating trading Nelson in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft and a reserve guard from the Seahawks. The motivation behind this move? Well, the Colts are dealing with some tough issues. They're trying to rebuild their defensive line after some vulnerabilities. And with their run game averaging only about 100 yards per game, they're looking to free up cap space to extend their quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who's shown flashes but needs some help, especially with injuries piling up on the defensive front. What makes this trade so intriguing is that it echoes the kind of move the Cowboys pulled off in 2025 when they traded Zach Martin. That trade added roughly 10% more pocket time for Dak Prescott, giving him more time to operate and significantly boosting Dallas's offense. If the Seahawks manage to land Nelson, it could do something similar for Geno Smith, especially considering the Seahawks' offensive line has been a bit of a roller coaster in recent games. Their current OL has shown flashes of dominance, but has also struggled with injuries and consistency, especially after the hamstring injury to Charles Cross. Bringing in a player of Nelson's caliber could stabilize that unit and elevate the entire offense. Let's talk about Nelson himself, because he's not just any guard. He's a bulldozer, a true interior force in the trenches. In 2025, he posted an overall PFF grade of 81.3, which ranks him among the top guards in the league. His pass blocking grade was solid at 69.7, but where he truly shines is in run blocking with an impressive 85.0, ranking him fourth among guards. Nelson allowed only 1 sack all season and registered 15 pressures, all while playing in 99% of his team's snaps. Statistically, he's a game changer, with an EPA per snap of plus 0.15 on runs and a pass block efficiency of 98.0. He's a player who, over his career, has earned 6 Pro Bowl selections and has maintained a career PFF grade above 89. That's elite, and it's exactly what the Seahawks need to bolster their offensive line, especially in a division where physicality and pass rushers like Nick Bosa and Aaron Donald are always lurking. Looking at his career trajectory, Nelson has been remarkably consistent. He's never had a major injury, and his run blocking grade has remained above 86 for years, comparable to top-tier guards like Joe Thuney. His presence would immediately upgrade the Seahawks' rushing attack, which currently ranks around 10th in the league, but has the potential to climb even higher with an anchor like Nelson leading the way. His addition could push the Seahawks' rushing DVOA into the top 5, especially with the improved run efficiency he could bring, possibly increasing their yards per rush from the current 4.4 to over 5 yards. That's a game changer, especially in a division where controlling the clock and establishing the run can be the difference between a playoff win and an early exit. Now the Colts seem motivated to move Nelson because they're heading into a rebuild phase, especially on defense. Their defensive line has been vulnerable, giving up an average of 22 points per game, and with their odds of making the playoffs dropping after some recent losses, they're looking to acquire youth and draft capital. Moving Nelson for a first-round pick and a reserve guard makes sense. They're prioritizing future assets to build a more sustainable team. They also need to address their cap situation, as they're about $10 million over the limit for rookies and upcoming extensions. Trading Nelson could free up that space, allowing them to focus on drafting and developing young players on their offensive line and elsewhere. For the Seahawks, this is a golden opportunity. They have around $9 million in cap space, which means they can absorb Nelson's contract without too much trouble. The plan would be to plug him into their starting lineup as a steadfast guard and watch their offensive line transform into a true strength. Imagine a line with Charles Cross, Gabe Jackson, and Nelson. That's a formidable front that can dominate in both the run and pass game. Nelson's presence would help reduce sacks, improve pocket stability, and open up lanes for Kenneth Walker III, who's been a bright spot in Seattle's offense. Plus, with the Seahawks trying to strengthen their identity after a somewhat inconsistent 2023 season, adding a player like Nelson signals a clear intent to become a more physical, balanced team that can hang with the best in the league. Furthermore, Nelson's impact could be felt beyond just the run game and pass protection. His presence would elevate the entire offensive scheme, making play action more effective and giving Geno Smith more confidence to take shots downfield. The Seahawks have been steadily improving on offense, currently ranked 10th in yards per game, but with Nelson anchoring the interior, they could vault into the top 5, turning their offensive line from a point of concern into one of their biggest strengths. That kind of upgrade would be a nightmare for defenses, especially when combined with the Seahawks' talented wide receivers and a dynamic running game. And if we're talking about the bigger picture, a trade for Nelson could also have ripple effects into the postseason. In Super Bowl LX, having a dominant offensive line is often the difference maker. Nelson's proven ability to protect the quarterback and create holes in the run game could elevate Seattle's chances of making a deep playoff run. In fact, some projections suggest that adding a player like Nelson could improve the Seahawks' Super Bowl odds substantially, pushing them from +1-0 to +500. That kind of shift is huge and makes them even more serious contenders when the stakes are highest. Of course, all of this is speculative for now. The NFL trade deadline can be unpredictable, and teams often keep their cards close to the vest until the last moment. But the potential fit here is undeniable. The Seahawks have the draft capital and cap space to make a move, and Nelson's talent is exactly what they need to push their offensive line into the elite tier. It's a bold move, but one that could pay huge dividends, not just for the next season, but for several years to come. The NFC West is already competitive, with teams like the 49ers and Rams always ready to strike. But if the Seahawks can shore up their offensive line with a player like Nelson, they'll be in a much stronger position to challenge for division supremacy and a Super Bowl title. This kind of move also speaks to the long-term vision of the Seahawks front office. They're not just looking to patch up holes, but to build a team that can sustain success year after year. Acquiring Nelson would send a clear message to the division that Seattle is serious about contending now and for the future. It's about creating a team that can grind through the playoffs, impose their will in the trenches, and ultimately bring another Lombardi trophy back to the Pacific Northwest. Now, I know some fans might be hesitant about giving up a first-round pick, especially in a deep draft class, but the potential return in terms of immediate impact and future stability could outweigh the risk. Nelson is a proven star, and integrating him into the Seahawks' scheme could unlock a new level of offensive efficiency. Plus, the added cap flexibility means the Seahawks can also look at other pieces to complement the roster, making this a strategic move rather than just a splashy headline. So in conclusion, the possibility of the Seahawks trading for Quentin Nelson is one of the most exciting rumors in the NFL right now. It's a move that could reshape the division, boost their Super Bowl chances, and set up the Seahawks for sustained success. As fans, we should keep a close eye on how this develops, because if it happens, it could be one of the most impactful trades in recent Seahawks history. The road to Super Bowl LVII could get a whole lot more interesting with Nelson anchoring that offensive line. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you believe Nelson is the missing piece to push Seattle over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for all the latest Seattle Seahawks news. This is a team that's always looking for ways to get better, and right now, the buzz about Nelson might just be the move that propels them into true championship contention. Let's keep the faith, keep the passion alive, and get ready for an exciting future in Seahawks country.